Climate change. This is arguably the most heated, tense, and debated topic in our political and media space today. Both sides of the political aisle constantly argue about who's correct, who has the facts, and what should be our best course of action. In my personal experience, I find in most of my discussions, people are actually unclear about what exactly climate change is. And that's how I'd like to start today with the textbook definition of climate change. Climate change is defined as a change in global or regional climate patterns, a change that we really did not start seeing until the middle of the 20th century up towards the present day. This is largely attributed to the large increase in CO2 emissions that are remaining in our atmosphere because of our large usage of fossil fuels. The oceans is typically the most common place people attribute to this topic of climate change. And that is because the top half mile of the ocean actually has a large part to do with all the weather patterns that we see on the surface. Within the ocean, however, the increase in temperatures are bringing significant damages to coral reefs all around the world, a variety of marine ecosystems, and a large disruption of global fisheries. On the surface where we live, the increase in heat content can also directly affect ocean circulation, which in turn affects large weather events such as tropical storms and hurricanes, which directly destroy a lot of island and coastal regions. Another primary concern is air temperature. Air temperature, in fact, is actually increasing at a faster rate than the air over the ocean is. The issue with the sudden increase in air temperature is that heat waves are sweeping different places around the globe. The issue with these heat waves is that these introduce certain insects into environments where they previously were not introduced, which is a large health risk that is directly affecting citizens of countries around the world, especially very young babies and elderly people who equally have weaker immune systems and cannot successfully fight off these new introduced diseases. Going hand in hand with the oceans, the glaciers are actually retreating at completely unprecedented paces they have never quite seen before. In some regions in the world, these are 3 times as much as the total snow and ice volume found in the European Alps, which is one of the largest mountain ranges in the world, containing the most snow and ice per square mile. These glaciers can lead to very dangerous conditions and situations for cities and communities that sit at the base of mountains. You can damage these communities by landslides and avalanches because these glaciers are retreating and melting at such a large pace. Lastly, but arguably most importantly, is a concern that this thing has on wildlife. Extinction is such a huge problem today that not nearly enough people are talking about. At the pace we are currently going, we are currently killing approximately 5 whole species per year. Scientists from around the world also agree that we may be entering our 6th mass extinction in the total human observable history. This is largely due to nothing else but human activity, our increased use of fossil fuels that is pumping unprecedented amounts of CO2 into our atmosphere. Scientists are currently estimating, as written here down on this slide, that we are killing off species at 1,000 times the natural rate. By the mid-century in the year 2050, estimates are coming in that we may kill off 30 to 50% of all species on planet Earth. Presented with these facts, the number one question people typically have is, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? On the left side of this slide here, we have the individual things people can do, such as maximize public transportation in their city, reduce their food waste, reduce their meat consumption, and also decrease their domestic energy usage. Arguably, the most important thing that any one individual can do to enact macro and mass change is vote for policymakers who run on platforms that prioritize climate change agreements and laws so that we can guarantee a positive future for our children and our children's children. And with that, thank you all very much. Stay healthy and stay blessed.